Every day, you are teaching your brain who to become, not metaphorically, physically. With every habit, every fear, every repetition, every thought you keep returning to, your brain is changing itself around you. And most people have no idea it is happening. Your brain is changing as you read these words. Not in a philosophical sense, not as a metaphor, it is changing physically. The organ inside your skull is reconfiguring itself in this very moment. It is a quiet, constant process. You do not feel it happen, but it is happening all the same. This is Thinkoria, where big ideas change how you see reality. For a long time, scientists believed something that now feels almost unbelievable. That the adult brain was basically fixed. That once childhood ended, the wiring was mostly set. You could damage it, you could lose function, but truly change it? That was not supposed to happen. It was a brutal idea, because it meant your limits might be permanent. Bad at music, bad at language, bad at focus. Maybe that was just your ceiling. Maybe adulthood was not transformation. Maybe it was maintenance. The fundamental structure was considered permanent. This belief was comforting in its certainty, but also deeply limiting. If you were not born with a gift for music or language, you would never truly develop one. If you had a certain temperament, prone to worry or quick to anger, that was seen as fixed. The brain was like concrete that had already cured. You could perhaps paint over it or clean its surface, but you could not pour it into a new shape. This perspective dominated neuroscience for decades, shaping how we viewed education, aging, and personal change. The evidence seemed to support this view, but as scientists looked closer, they began to see cracks in this old, rigid foundation. The facts were not fitting the theory as neatly as they once had. The old story began to unravel with a series of quiet surprises. It did not happen with one single dramatic breakthrough. It happened in the margins of research, in the unexpected outcomes of clinical cases. People recovered abilities they were not supposed to recover. Slowly, lives changed. It suggested the brain was not as fixed as doctors had believed. Then came the discovery that changed everything. Neuroplasticity. The brain is not a finished object. It is a living system that changes in response to experience. That means your brain is not just helping you live your life. Your life is actively shaping your brain. The things you repeat are not just behaviors, they are instructions. At the center of this are neurons, cells that send signals. They communicate across tiny gaps called synapses. When certain pathways are used again and again, the brain starts making that route easier to travel, like a trail through a forest. Walk it once and it is barely there. Walk it every day and it becomes a path. Then a road. Then something your brain starts choosing almost automatically. This is one of the most important ideas in neuroscience. What fires together, wires together. The more certain brain cells activate together, the easier that pattern becomes to repeat. And what is not used can weaken. So your brain is not just learning, it is editing. Now here is where it becomes personal, because repetition is never neutral. Whatever you do often, your brain starts getting better at doing. Focus, distraction, calm, stress, discipline, avoidance. You are always training something. That is why practice matters so much. A musician is not just learning an instrument. A musician is physically reshaping the brain through repetition. Then came one of the most famous clues: London taxi drivers. A region involved in spatial memory, the hippocampus, appeared different in experienced taxi drivers. The city outside them had helped reshape the map inside them. Stroke recovery showed the brain could sometimes reroute function after damage. Not magically, not easily, but enough to change lives. Imagine a bridge collapsing in a city. Traffic stops. Then slowly, detours begin. When an old route is gone, the brain can sometimes build another. And now comes the part that should make you stop. If the brain can reorganize after injury, what do you think it is doing during ordinary life? Every habit leaves a trace. Every repeated behavior teaches the system what to expect. Scroll endlessly, and distraction can become more automatic. They become the brain's preferred routes for thought and action. This process is happening right now, without your permission. It happens when you worry. It happens when you learn. It happens when you scroll. It happens when you sit in silence. Your brain is a living map, and your habits are the cartographers, drawing and redrawing the streets every single day. The person you were yesterday is not, in a very real and physical sense, the exact same person you are today. The structure of your consciousness has been subtly altered by the simple act of living through another 24 hours. Your brain is listening to your life. Your brain does not judge. It simply adapts. It strengthens the connections you use most often, whether they lead to focus or to distraction, to calm or to anxiety. It is an impartial engineer, reinforcing the bridges you cross most frequently. The thoughts you return to again and again are not just fleeting mental events. They are instructions. You are, in every moment, providing the blueprint for the person you are becoming. The small rituals of your day are slowly but surely rewiring you from the inside out. You are not just living your life. You are teaching your brain who to become. Because the organ that defines who you are is not standing still. It is being shaped day by day by how you live, even now.